Classical music creates beautiful crystals while pop music creates ugly and broken crystals. A Japanese scientist, Masaru Emoto, wanted to find a way of scientifically evaluating the effect of sound on water quality. Masaru Emoto's experiment was playing music to water. He placed distilled water in between two speakers and played one piece of music fully at normal volume. Then he froze the water. Classical music produced beautiful crystals of slightly different colors. Healing music, a Tibetan mantra, and folk music also produced beautiful crystals. Heavy metal music produced a pattern that looked like a crystal that had exploded into thousand pieces. Japanese pop music produced ugly shaped uh, square crystals rather than the normal hexagonal ones. Since our body is made up of 70% water, Masaru Emoto's work demonstrates that we are constantly being influenced by the sounds around us and by the information stored in water we consume. Music as Medicine, the Mozart Effect. Don Campbell, in his book The Mozart Effect, shows how music, particularly Mozart's, has all kinds of beneficial effects for human health. Scientists suggest that listening to Mozart helps us to improve our powers and concentration and enhances our ability to make intuitive leaps by organizing the firing pattern of neurons in the cerebral cortex. The fetus prefers Mozart and Vivaldi to other composers. When pregnant mothers listen to Mozart and Vivaldi, the baby's heart rates invariably steadied and kicking declined. Rock music drove most fetuses to distraction and they kicked violently when it was played to their pregnant mothers. Discovery of Fabian Maman, right sound heals cancer. Fabian worked with the French physicist John Steinheimer. Steinheimer had discovered that elementary particles vibrate at frequencies in accordance with musical laws. They found that body tissue, organs, and acupuncture meridians each have a musical note. They found that even at 30-40 decibels, the sound always produced noticeable changes in the cells. As the sounds progressed up the musical scale, there would be an explosion of the cancer cells at a certain frequency as the sound traveled outward from the center of the cell to its outer membrane. The experiment yielded the most dramatic results when the human voice was used. Fabian says, near the end of the scale, usually around the seventh interval, the cancer cells exploded. It appears that the cancer cells were not able to support a progressive accumulation of frequencies. The healthy cells appeared supple and able to freely receive, absorb, and return energy. In contrast, the cancer cells appeared inflexible and immutable in their structure. In experimental sessions on actual cancer patients, the music produced equally astonishing results. Female volunteers with breast cancer were taught to tone the whole scale using a violin to keep a bass note for 21 minutes at a time. They spent 3.5 hours a day doing this for a month. One woman's tumor disappeared completely. Fabian Maman took healthy blood cells and played a xylophone to them. He photographed the changes in the electromagnetic fields around the cells using Killian photography. Subjected to a chromatic scale of frequencies, the slight difference of a half tone would produce a completely different shape and color in the energy field of the cell. He found that the note C made them longer, D produces a variety of colors, E made them spherical, A for 440 Hz changed the color of their energy field from red to pink. The first condition of Vedantic meditation is to be thoroughly infused with the thought that God is not an extraterrestrial being, but the supreme reality is inside all of us. Modern scientific discoveries have ended in the conclusion of the ancient Upanishads: Atma equal to Brahma, the finite contains the infinite. In the words of A.D. Raincoat in his book The Eye of Shiva, William Morrow and Company, 1981, science has culminated to interiorization of God and orientalization of the West. The entire rational world of science is turning increasingly towards exploring this infinite possibility of God interiorized with us. The thought that within the finite man is the repository of infinite strength and bliss is the root of prime object of meditation. Repeated study of the Upanishads bring this faith and conviction. Biophysicist Roger W. Sperry, who got Nobel Prize and did this pioneering work on mind-body relation, thinks that religious deep-rooted beliefs or faiths are no longer illusions. They are sometimes overwhelmingly functional. Subjective belief is no longer a mere imputed epiphenomenon of brain activity. As things stand, I no longer need to believe as a scientist that I and my world are governed solely from below upward through the fundamental forces of physics in a total mindless and purposeless cosmos, indifferent to human concerns. In our new downward control paradigm, we are moved and surrounded in the modern world by higher, more evolved, vital mental, cultural, and other social forms. The related so-called New Age movement of the past 2 decades, which has increasingly challenged Judeo-Christian and other traditions of Western culture, I believe also has its foundation in the consciousness evolution, Cosmic Beginning and Human Ends, Matthew and Verghese, Open Court, Illinois, 1995, page 314 to 15. Meditation brings us in touch with infinity. Recently, a team of 3 American brain scientists, led by Andrew Newberg, experimented on what happens in our